Good, happy Friday evening, November 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday evening, so let's get started. First up, we're going to begin with COVID-19 updates, coronavirus in New Hampshire, key information and data. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 16,277 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 11,674,074 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 506 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 826 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 251,970 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 410. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 1698. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In orange, new hospitalization. And in the red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. Now let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR test. And let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Today is the first full day of the statewide mask mandate in New Hampshire to help stop the slow of the spread of COVID-19 in New Hampshire. The mandate started today. It applies to indoor spaces, outdoors, where distancing can't be maintained. Massachusetts imposed travel restrictions on New Hampshire and Maine. Massachusetts has added New Hampshire and Maine to its list of high-risk states, imposing restrictions on anyone traveling from those states. Effective Saturday, anyone who travels from New Hampshire or Maine to Massachusetts must quarantine for 14 days or get a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of arriving in Massachusetts. There are expectations for people commuting to work and school, those getting medical treatment, and military personnel. State police move in to dismantle homeless camp in Manchester. Residents say they don't know where they'll go. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Outreach has been a member of Bellwether Community Credit Union since 2013. One of the other banks wasn't responsive when we were applying for our PPP loan, and when our account...
4 days after the deadline passed for clearing a homeless camp outside the Superior Courthouse in Manchester, state police moved in.
Do not catch anything!
The homeless camp has been a bone of contention between the state and city of Manchester, with both sides blaming each other for letting the situation get worse. Caught in the middle are those who have been camping on the lawn.
It's very disgusting to see this happening because they're basically just pushing us off one lawn onto the streets again.
There were agencies present to help relocate people. New Horizons families in transition, finding beds for 10. But for others like Calvin, the news was cold comfort.
They're not really helping us. They're just really kicking us down.
Calvin isn't sure where he will go now.
What's next for me is probably jail from here.
Even as the cleanup continues, many of those being moved say the solution being offered by the state is no solution at all, and believe they'll be back out on the streets in a couple of days.
And the problem with that is you get into them housings, and if you use one time, you get kicked out. So you end up right back here where you started.
Bobby is a self-described heroin addict who says he's not ready to quit, so for him, the shelters are not an option.
So I use to alleviate the pain, the heartache, and everything that I don't know how else to deal with.
In Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR, News 9.
And Manchester's mayor had harsh words for the removal this morning, saying in part, quote, "This eviction, uncoordinated with any local nonprofit agencies or the city, will disconnect individuals from services they've been receiving for months. This action from the state is inhumane, causing trauma to individuals with nowhere else to go." Now, News 9 has reached out to the state for comment on today's eviction. We have not yet received a response.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. More New Hampshire schools switch to remote learning. Rising community COVID-19 infections, positive cases in schools lead to changes. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For 85 years and 4 generations, the award-winning Palmer Gas and Oil has been providing fuel to homes throughout New Hampshire.
The Merrimack School District is moving to remote learning the Monday after Thanksgiving. The school board voted for the move yesterday. Students will learn remotely until the day after Martin Luther King weekend in January. Administrators made the recommendation due to the rising cases in that community there.
All Runlet Middle School students in Concord will learn online today after a staff member at that school tested positive for the coronavirus. Remote learning will take place online next Monday and Tuesday as well. The announcement comes after the superintendent announced that both the middle school and the high school will move to remote learning after the Thanksgiving break until January 19th, while elementary schools will remain in the hybrid model until December 22nd. Starting January 4th, all Concord schools will pivot to remote learning.
New Hampton's community school will also switch to remote learning after a staff member tested positive for COVID-19. Yesterday was the last day of in-person learning for students there. Students are expected to return back to school physically on December 7th.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're following some breaking news in Wisconsin. WISN ABC 12 News, a shooting at Mayfair Mall. Multiple victims reported, but the medical examiner was not called to the scene. There is a massive police presence at the north end of Mayfair Mall, with reports of an active shooter and multiple victims. News Chopper 12 Matt reports seeing tactical units going into the building. He has also seen 5 people being brought out on stretchers. 3 of the people were sitting upright and conscious. More ambulances continue to arrive. It is not known where the shooter is or if authorities know who it is. There are officers there from Watos, Milwaukee, and Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, State Patrol, and others. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office is not going to the scene, which indicates no one has been killed. A woman who was shopping on the second floor of Macy's heard 8 to 12 shots being fired. An Eddie Beer employee heard the gunfire and quickly got people outside from that store, WISN News 12 was told. WISN News 12 has multiple crews at the scene, and this story will be updated as the situation develops. let's take a listen to some live coverage right now.
Across the street, mister? Whoa, what happened to your hair?
A pair of Wauwatosa ambulances as well as a Brookfield ambulance. So that also adds up to 6 ambulances that have left at this point. And now the West Dallas ambulance just pulled away, but again, they did not put anybody on board. So I believe we've seen 6 injured parties pull out and be taken by ambulance. All of them appeared, all but one of them.
Okay, there you go. If you want to see that continuing coverage, we will share this link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page after this broadcast. Vera's Choice 2020, the best winery. Let's take a look and see where the best winery is in New Hampshire. The 5 best wineries in New Hampshire.
Before winter comes, your old car has got to go because Auto North.
Okay, and there you go. And that does it for this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.